Major business groups now pleading with the president to pause his vaccine mandates until after the holiday season, or pause them altogether. Both the National Retail Federation and the Trucking Association say their industries will see a mass exodus of employees over the vaccines, and it couldn't come at a worse time. Meanwhile, cities across the country losing their police and civil service forces over the mandates. NYPD officers have until Friday to get the jab or face consequences. And in Los Angeles, unvaccinated city workers will soon have $130 taken out of every paycheck every week to pay for testing. But what happens if they all quit? Who do you call in an emergency? AOC's like, we'll totally pay for you cradle to grave. Be dependent on us, we. Here to discuss, Kentucky Republican Congressman and House Judiciary Committee member Thomas Massie. Let's get sassy with Massie. Nice to see you again, sir.
Good to see you. You know it's bad when even the U.S. Chamber of Chamber of Commerce is advocating for smaller government. I have no love lost for the military-industrial complex here, but I think we better listen to the CEO of Raytheon when he says that the vaccine mandates on contractors and subcontractors is going to put a kink in the supply line to our military. That's important when it starts to affect our national security. And I just got off a phone call with one of my constituents, 22-year member of the Special Forces in the Navy. He's being forced into retirement, or he will lose his retirement in GI Bill because he refuses to take the vaccine.
And, it's like, I am not anti-vax. I got the vaccine. I'm very happy I got the vaccine. We've discussed, I got super sick with COVID. There are a lot of things I do that other people don't do, but I don't think the government should be forcing them to do those things. There's also someone within the administration saying that if you force people to get vaccinated, there will be more people working because fewer people will be getting sick, when really it's older people and people with comorbidities who are still contracting the virus.
Yeah, it's not going to work out the way they're saying. That's a fantasy. Even, I think it was Goldman Sachs who said that employment would go up because fewer people would be sick. Today in our Transportation Committee, my colleague Brian Mast offered an amendment to try and forestall the vaccine mandates on FAA employees. We were marking up an aviation bill for the FAA. What a bad thing to do, to impose this mandate and force people, even if it's just 10% of the people responsible for keeping the planes in the air. If you force 10% of them to quit before the holiday season, these mandates are going to stop until the Zoom class, the people who stay at home, the liberal Zoom class who order their stuff on Amazon and never go out for anything, until the supplies don't show up at their doorstep. I think they're going to still advocate for these mandates, and it's unscientific and illogical. And like you, Kennedy, I'm not against vaccines. I'm against vaccine mandates.
Yes, I don't disagree with you there. And I also think it's very curious because you have a very vocal wing of the Democrat Party who has no problem creating all new dependents on federal subsidies and programs. The problem is, if this many people leave work, you're not going to have the tax base there to support people. So where do you think this ends? Do you think the unions and some of these big trade organizations are going to make enough noise that the administration is going to get scared about the 2022 midterms and cave?
Well, I think it ends when the Democrats tick off enough of their base constituency. I've called this Biden's war on working women of childbearing age. These are people who typically, if you look at the statistics, would tend to vote Democrat, but you have women leaving the workforce or not finishing their college degrees because of the vaccine mandate. And I think that's a shame. And the Democrats are going to start feeling it, I think, at the ballot box.
Yes.
They're alienating minorities and women.
They absolutely are alienating minorities and women. And I think about some of those minority workers in Los Angeles who are going to have, $520 taken out of their paychecks every month for testing. I don't think that's going to sit well with a lot of people who are going to be very, very hurt by some of this mandate fallout. Congressman Thomas Massie, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on, Kendi.
Absolutely.